Hello everyone, I'm Shakina Tuahene, Deputy Editor of Mortgage Solutions, if you haven't already seen me today, and thank you for being part of this event and watching with us. I hope you've enjoyed today's presentation so far. This will be the last session of the day where we'll be discussing the importance and value of mortgage administrators, as well as how the sector can support their work and well-being. I'll be joined by Ryan Brailsford, Director of Business Development at Pepper Money, Joe Powell, Bridging and Development Specialist at the Brightstar Group, and Rachel Smith, Team Leader of Mortgages at the Brightstar Group. Thank you all for taking part. And just a reminder that there will be a chance to ask questions at the end, or throughout the event, so feel free to do so on the boxes on your screen. And I will now hand over to the panel. Thank you all.
Afternoon all. We thought we'd spend the next 30 minutes sort of talking between ourselves a little bit around the crucial role that administrators play in the market, how lenders can best support them as well. Rather than having sort of one person asking questions, I think we've all maybe got the odd question we want to ask each other, but most importantly, as we've said, please do ask them in the chat and then we can address those as we go. I'll get us started though. So I think a great place to start would be with Rachel, whose personal experience in her role is going to be especially valuable this afternoon. Rachel, what support or training has made the biggest difference in your ability to succeed in your role?
Yeah, so I joined Brightstar 3 years ago. No experience in admin at all. Just graduated from university, and then coming into Brightstar, I just knew that I wanted to get myself into some admin jobs. But yeah, as soon as I joined, in the first few months, I knew that I was in the right place for my progression within the industry, like the support from the colleagues as well, like the management, as well as other team members.
I think we lost them. That's it's not a good start, is it? We're just trying to get them back online.
Sorry, everyone, bear with us. We're just trying to get them back connected. We'll just wait for them to hopefully regain connection. And it was getting obviously interesting start as well, so that's a shame. Hopefully they're back soon. I think they should be back with us just joining, so I will step away shortly and you should be able to carry on with the conversation. I will actually carry on from where you left off, to be fair. So I think I'll ask the next question because it's meant to be to you, Ryan, in fact. So just while we wait for them to rejoin, what are some small but meaningful ways that businesses can show appreciation to administrators on a day-to-day basis?
Absolutely. Yeah, and I was sort of giving a bit of thought to this, as I know we spoke with Rachel and Joe about it. And obviously, from Pepper's point of view, you know, we have very similar roles, but more sort of processing admin teams for ourselves, underwriters, etc. And it's a really big thing for us. And I think no matter what role people are in, what they like to see is the value that they're adding from doing that role. And how that actually, comes out in the overall results of the business or the industry. So we're really keen on this at Pepper. So, you know, we know that our biggest strength in the market is our service, and that comes very much from the individuals in our operations roles. I think, there's been a lot of talk today at the event around tech and, AI and where that will come in and the differences that it will make. And, I think we can make use of technology to streamline processes, but you just can't beat the people at all, and that's just something that we're really keen on at Pepper. So we champion the people. We absolutely make sure that it's very very, very clear internally, you know, what they have done and inputted into. And I think that just makes, you know, a bit of a fire in the belly, really. I think, you know, shows the appreciation all the time rather than kind of doing work every day and not knowing where it leads.
Yeah, of course, definitely. And we did hear in the last session that it's not expected to replace administrator. So that's definitely a sign of how important they are. And we do have you back, Rachel and Joe. So
Yes,
thank you for
sorry
joining
about
us
that.
again. If you would like to pick up where you left off, which is talk about how you got into the industry, and then we did move on to how businesses can show appreciation to administrators. I will go back in the background and let you lot carry on.
Thank you. Sorry about that. But yeah, just talking about obviously joined Brightstar 3 years ago, no admin experience at all, and I was a bit lost of what I wanted to do. And then I saw this job advertised here for a team admin, and I thought, what's the worst that could happen, sort of thing. So I jumped in. Obviously, no progression ideas either as well. So as soon as I joined Brightstar, the training programs, and then also we met with our head of business people development. And she came in and we have meetings with her every month, discuss where you want to go in Brightstar, and where you want to progress to. And that's when I sort of slowly realised that I do want to stay in like managerial sort of role, because I never actually knew I wanted to be a team leader until then. But yeah, I think like the training here as well. So we have different training programs for like solicitor chasing, underwriting, being a case manager, all things like that. And also support from the colleagues as well has really helped get to where I am now. So I can't fault anything regarding Brightstar about sort of the training and development for me to get into this role where I am now. Yeah, I think that kind of sums it up really for me. So yeah, so Joe, what do you think how business can show sort of appreciation for admin day to day?
Well, I work in sales, just to give you a little bit of background, but obviously the administration team is absolutely intrinsic to helping us do the role that we do. With regards to how we recognise our administration team, as basic as an email. You know, everybody loves an email to say thank you. Every month we get the opportunity to do a shout out, and what that entails is all the consultants speaking to their teams and basically trying to sort of nominate somebody that's gone above and beyond. Now, it might not have been a massive thing, but it may have helped to get a really difficult case over the line. So shout outs are really, really good. And what happens is whoever wins the shout out for that particular month gets points. And at the end of the year, I think there's a prize given for the most amount of points that's been gained over the year for whatever thing that they've done. We also recognise administrators with small gifts. Now we're very, very fortunate because these gifts come through from lenders generally. They could be biscuits, they could be champagne or chocolates, anything like that. Even the odd stress ball, if you've had a particularly bad case. So so it's nice that we've got very, very close relationships with the lenders that we work with. Also, hospitality days, getting the opportunity to go to the races is really nice. And we try and rotate that so everybody gets a chance to do something. It might be a football match, it could be a concert or a black tie event, anything like that. But of course, you feel valued, you feel wanted and needed. So again, that's another really nice way. And of course, feedback from managers. In my role, getting an email from somebody to say, well done, Joe, it just makes it feel that little bit more special. What about you, Ryan? What do you do at Pepper?
Yeah, so we were just talking about it actually while you were offline.
I wasn't asleep.
I mean, I was obviously saying similar things to you from a sales point of view. You know, it's our underwriters and administration teams, everyone in kind of operations is a big part of our commercial function. So a big thing that we do, as well as obviously we have things like awards, internal awards and things like that. But I was talking about a monthly meeting that we have where we always sort of link the activity that's happened within those roles to the commercial goals as well, because there's sort of nothing worse in any job, is there, than working hard every day and like not knowing what it's achieved. So we always make a big point of our people because they are the most important part for us in the service that we provide as a lender. It's that individual touch that the underwriters give. So yeah, really appreciated.
Yeah. definitely.
Rachel, now you're back. Do you feel that administrators receive enough visibility for their work in the industry? And if not, how can that change?
So I think sort of externally looking in, I believe people would think that admins don't get enough appreciation for what they do. I feel like they can just be seen as the back end people that push cases through. But obviously, in my experience at Brightstar, I can say that we recognise our admins a lot, as proved by Joe's answer to the first question as well. So receiving gifts, we know our worth as well. So without us, the cases wouldn't go through, and we make sure that the guys upstairs, the consultants, know that as well. But yeah, I believe more can be done externally, because I do feel like that can push people away from being an admin. I feel like they don't want to do that just because they don't want to be the back end person. But sort of we're here just to say that businesses do show appreciation to their team. It might be that you have a sort of feedback or a judgment already, but we're trying to just change that as well. And obviously, I appreciate you guys at Pepper as well for sort of being headline sponsor here, for us to be able to give that appreciation to admins and let everyone know that it's not just a job that anyone can do, and it's just sort of my thoughts on it really. What about you, Ryan?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I echo what you've said, and I think like you say, it's a background job, but it's such an important one. Everyone who's on this call now, is such an important role and a difficult one. So thank you for all you do. I think we're on a journey externally. I think Rachel's right. I think there's more visibility now than there was a few years ago of what that role actually entails and where it fits into the mortgage process. We are very passionate about it as a lender. Obviously, we sponsored today. We've sponsored many awards over the last few years, awards, dues, and things that are all administrator category for that reason. We want to champion the role and make sure that more people are aware of it. It is increasing visibility as well as recognition. One of the things that we're involved in, actually, and anyone who's not aware of it, you've got the Administrator Hub on LinkedIn. So we keep partners there with AE3 on that one. And it's a community which is, it's available on LinkedIn. It's there to provide ongoing support, education, and networking opportunities. So, if you're not a member of that already, do go and check it out.
Yeah, for sure.
We've had a couple of questions pop up. So let's have a look. So, as a trainee mortgage advisor, what aspect of mortgage application process do I need to focus on and practice the most to start with? That feels like a question for you, that, Rachel. I don't know. What aspects of the mortgage application process do I need to focus and practice the most to start with?
Oh, I think the first part of the process, so the underwriting of it. So making sure that, so here at Brightstar, we aim to get perfect packs and day one offers, and we make sure that we know the lender's requirements before we submit that case, and we make sure that we have everything in the folders ready to submit, and fingers crossed turn around for a day one offer, which we always aim for, or agreed subject to valuation, either or. But yeah, I believe that first part of the process, the application, is vital for the time as well, the time it takes for an application to go through, because there can be a lot of back and forth with lenders and underwriters on things that you can sort of preempt up front. So say we've got bank statements, for example, we like to obviously go through the bank statements first ourselves as a packager, and we go back to the broker and we say, oh, we've seen this on a bank statement, FYI, the lender may question this, can you please get an answer for me up front? And then that just obviously saves the back and forth with the underwriter when submitting an application.
Yeah, and I think a similar answer for me, really. I think it's get to know what you expect. Generally, lenders will ask about certain things. If you can preempt that and you focus on that, then that will definitely give a smoother customer journey, because a lot of the time it's going to be relatively similar case by case as you get going. You realise that.
Yeah, because we deal with so many lenders multiple times that we just know back of our hand now sort of what they expect. And we just know to ask them certain questions. We know to sort of set expectations as well to the brokers, the time scales. Some lenders have really quite long time scales that we like to just warn them on first, so they can set the client's expectation as well.
Yeah, definitely. We've got another one as well. Mortgage admin roles often involve juggling high workloads, tight timescales, apologies, and client pressure. What well-being initiatives actually make a difference in that environment?
Oh,
It's a very good question.
that is a good question, to be
Make sure you
fair.
have a break.
Yeah, to be fair, I do agree that it can be a high pressure environment. And I think there's some things can be done to sort of help to reduce that stress, let's say. So just even just taking like 5-10 minutes out just to think, just have like away from your screen, either go for a walk or like 5 minute run in the office or anything like that. Also regarding sort of prioritization as well and working in time and date order, I feel like that's the best thing to do for well-being as well, because again, we're big on that as well here. We like to obviously set expectations, but then working in time and date order, you don't get messed up, you don't get juggled up with emails basically. So it kind of helps you in your mind, you're not sort of all over the place with emails, unless if something's really prioritized and really urgent, then fair enough, you need to jump to it. But other than that, I feel like that's kind of couple ways to sort of help reduce that sort of stress and well-being as well. And also talking to people as well, talking to your team. A problem sort of half is a problem shared, and we're really big on that here as well.
I think it's managing the times as well, isn't it? Managing expectations. So if you're speaking to a broker or a client, not sort of giving unrealistic timescales, because I think that puts added pressure on yourself. Yeah. So I think honesty is always the best policy. So if you've got
if it's a 10 working day turnaround time, you tell the broker it's 10 working days. Yeah, you don't say 3 to 4.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and I echo everything that's just been said. I would probably just add as well, challenge process where it's applicable as well. Whether that's the lender that you're dealing with, whether that's within your own business, because it is stressful, and you're trying to sort of spin so many plates, but take a step back occasionally, not just for a break, but also to think, can I avoid some of this stress if something worked in a better way for me? Speak up, and I think that's what today's event's so important for, is focusing on this role rather than just on the advising side. How do lenders work better to make your life easier and to make it less stressful? So speak up to lenders, speak up to the brokerage that you work in. I think that's really important.
That definitely comes with experience as well, because the person that's doing the underwriting, for example, the lender could be quite new to the role. They might not even understand why they're asking some of the questions that they're asking. So you can satisfy that. And like you say, Ryan, if you challenge, they'll go and check, and then maybe it's something that isn't needed. So how does Pepper support its growing administrators and underwriters, especially coping with changing requirements they need to meet on their own decisions and regulatory changes?
Yeah, well, so you may have, you guys probably know this. Lots of people on the call maybe have heard of our kind of strap lines, helping people succeed. We talk about that a lot, and we talk about helping people succeed externally because of the specialist lender. We're very much there to, hopefully help people who otherwise maybe wouldn't get the mortgage that they're looking for. But it's also our internal mantra. So, we look at helping our colleagues succeed, and there's a big drive on that, and a sort of grow your own mentality. So a lot of people that I know, I've been at Pepper for 9 years now, so I've kind of watched people come and work their way up, me included. There's a lot of support there. So we do that in multiple ways. We have a very dedicated learning and development team. So we have lots of in-house training courses. Any manager can go and approach them and say, can you put a course together for my team for this, and this? And we do that very, very well. But we also subscribe to things externally that we know that benefit people in their day-to-day. So as well as the face-to-face courses, we've got reams of things on our sort of intranet that they can use, things like LinkedIn Learning as well that we've got. So just always encouraging the team and giving them the time to take time out to actually utilize those, because obviously we benefit as a business anyway. If people upskill themselves, they do a better job for you. But most importantly, it actually helps them to progress. And that's what a lot of people want to do. We want to make sure we support.
Definitely.
I think for somebody that's been in the company for a while, Pepper sound very, very similar to how Brightstar work. But I think if you can see somebody growing and you had part in nurturing that person, it's so rewarding to see them coming out the other side from that first day when they turned up, knowing nothing, and then being somebody that you can go to for advice. Even somebody as a consultant going to an administrator that's been doing the job a little while, that has got pretty good background on some of the legal points. I think that's very, very rewarding.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. How do you think, I mean, it's probably one for you, Joe. How do you think businesses can better equip administrators to keep up with, changing lender requirements, regulatory shifts? Things are always moving, aren't they? What's the best way to support that?
Yeah, we're really, really lucky here. So we've got, actually, Rachel and I are in it today. It's called the greenhouse. So this is where we can nurture people, train people grow.
Yeah.
So hence the greenhouse. But we've got an excellent compliance program, for example, that everybody joins day one. And they'll have regular training with our compliance team. They'll have regular updates given to them. People development as well. We've got a whole team, although only 3 ladies, but a whole team is designated to develop us. So I think Rachel touched on the fact that we have once a quarter meetings with Claire Jupp, who runs our people development. So again, at these meetings, you can discuss what's going on in the markets and things like that as well. So yeah, lenders come in and do regular training, which is invaluable, really, because you're speaking directly, probably to an underwriter that's taken the time out to come in and speak to you. They can go through products, they can go through criteria changes, anything quirky about their criteria as an example. So yeah, I think sort of everybody working together, me as a consultant, if an administrator comes to me, I'm more than happy to go through something that they may have been trying to underwrite and not really understanding perhaps, because something's changed. I mean, we've had the consumer duty come in a couple of years ago. There are different changes, but yeah, I think if everybody works together, I think that's the key, really, partnership.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think it's a big point for everyone on the call, really. I mentioned about kind of speaking up, challenging process. Ask for help from lenders as well. It won't, it might not always happen from everybody that you would get that kind of training from an admin point of view, talking about process rather than about the products, the criteria, what they kind of want to sell as a BDM. So speak up, and ask for that, because it should absolutely be available from your lender partners, but sometimes you've got to give them a nudge. So I would recommend doing that. A couple more questions popped up for us. Are there any tools or platforms that you'd recommend to improve our knowledge sharing and support within the admin community? I mentioned the Administrator Hub probably at the time that you were typing this. So I would say check that out on LinkedIn. I don't know if you've got anything to add to that, you two?
Not me.
Not me, no. I would say LinkedIn is a massive sort of platform to help connect with other people in the same industry, doing the same things as well. But yes, one big community on LinkedIn.
And then we've got another one. Hi, I am completely new to this role and I would like in the future to do my CMAP exams. But what would you recommend to start with in the mortgage admin role to start to build a foundation?
Good question.
Start us off there, Rachel.
Yeah, good question. I'm going to assume that the person asked this question has no sort of experience, but obviously here at Brightstar, our sort of program is, so we start with sort of solicitor chasing, the completion end. So that's a way for someone to sort of gain their knowledge on the keywords used in mortgages, pick up the phones, be on the phone, because I know some people come into a job in admin and they might not be, they're quite phone shy. Or they're not, like for me, example, I wouldn't pick up the phone on the first day, and now look at me. But yeah, so we do like completion ends, and then we work our way up to sort of like underwriting the cases, and then you sort of know the lingo that they use, what lenders look for, and then you go up to being a case manager. So yeah, that's sort of the progression here. But yeah, so we'd say sort of start on the completion end side of stuff if you've got like sort of no experience in the role. It'll really help you sort of build your glossary, your dictionary of solicited words and stuff like that. That's sort of my advice. It's my advice on that one, really.
I would follow Rachel's advice as well, because I think if you start looking at the CMAP material,
straight away you're
so daunted by it, because it will make absolutely no sense. I mean, it made no sense to me, and I've been doing the job for a while. But no, joking aside, it's quite in-depth. But fantastic qualification to have, because it opens up quite a few doors for you. But yeah, as Rachel's just said, I think starting with the basics is the best way forward, and then just growing with the role.
Yeah, it comes with experience and comes with doing the job itself, really. Yeah. What about you, Ryan? Any sort of advice on that?
Yeah, I mean, I would say be inquisitive. Just that's, you know, it depends. Obviously, I mean, we don't know who's asked the question, the size of firm that you work in, you know, and what that looks like day to day. But I suppose, you know, you're brand new to it. Don't kind of see it as I'm here to process the mortgage, which is very transactional. Think of it as I am absolutely the head of this end of the process. You know, this is the bit where it gets passed to me, and I need to do all of these things until this point. So challenge it if it's not right. You know, think about how you can better it. You know, get to know the customers more. We mentioned before about preempting questions before underwriters ask them. You know, all that side of it is what administrators do so well. When it is in a typical firm, the advisor's already moved on to the next customer and it's been passed over. So, you know, learn by doing that. Challenge processes when they're not right. Ask lenders for help, as we already said, and you'll do well. And it's a fantastic industry to be in. So welcome to it.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly that.
So what does Rachel? What does sort of ongoing professional development look like for administrators, do you think? And how can it be encouraged?
Yeah, I feel like it's all about sort of the person knowing in themselves that they're capable of progression and also know where they want to be. Obviously, when I joined Brightstar, again, as I mentioned, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I just wanted to get in an admin role and just go from there. But as mentioned before as well, so meeting up with Claire Jupp, the head of professional development, in your induction period, for the 6 months, every month you meet with her, you discuss your targets that you want to do, you want to make, and then you in a year, sort of every year, then it goes every quarter, and then you go through like your training needs and qualifications as well. So say if you do want to do a CMAP, that's when we would mention it to them, and then they'll find a way to help us, support us in doing that as well. It's also just a chance to talk about admins and what we want to do in the future and how we can help ourselves to get there. It's really important that all companies implement this sort of thing as well. Just help, I think, and highly motivate your staff if they know that they're working towards something. And also development is also not just about professional knowledge, it's also about personal. So technical skills as well. So as like we have people join us like straight from college or university, and they might not have experience of talking on the phones or typing up emails. And I'm sure other companies can also relate to that as well. So being able to develop their personal skills is just as important as well. It's probably what I'd say, how to encourage it as well. Just talk as well. Talk about it within your team, sort of where you want to be. Because we have people in Brightstar that have gone from admin to finance, admin to compliance, admin to marketing, or just being like admin to broker, or again, admin to manager. So there's a lot of routes to go down, and don't be scared.
I was admin.
Yeah, and sort of don't be scared to go into admin not knowing what you want to do, because I feel like it can put someone off. But really, as soon as you get in there and you sort of know from your surroundings, you'll know what you want to do in the end. So that's my
advice. I think that's great advice, because it is a foundation building role, isn't it?
Really,
you know, you're going to learn so much about the other roles around you. There isn't just one route out of it. And that's if you want to come out of it at all, of course. It's also a very good role in itself. We've only got a couple of minutes left. I'll quickly read another question that's come through. So how long after you've been an admin do you think you should begin looking into doing your CMAP?
To be fair, we've had people, I think one of them now, who's been here for about 8-9 months, and now we're starting to do his CMAP. I think it's sort of, there's no sort of time limit, I guess, because you can come into admin wanting to do a CMAP and then you can jump into it. But obviously, without the experience there, it'd be quite difficult, as Joe mentioned. But yeah, I think it's all down to you as a person, really, how you learn, how you work. If you're ready to take that on as soon as you join the admin job, then fair enough. But if you want to wait a couple months or a year even, then obviously no problem in doing that either. But yeah, what's right or wrong way? No, there isn't really a right or wrong way. It's how you sort of feel in yourself.
I think if you've just come out of university or you've just come out of college, obviously your mind is a little bit easier to to read the books and things, unlike other people that have picked it up a little bit later in life, shall we say. It's probably a good point for me to ask about the high pressure and fast pace. What strategies do you put in place when you stop you from burning out?
Yeah, finished on a good one. So yeah, there's obviously, as you mentioned before, it's quite a high-paced environment. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of, you can feel a bit stressed. But again, as mentioned sort of before, I think just being organised is the main thing. Making sure, like, use your sticky notes, use your notepads, use your to-do lists, write down things every morning. Come in, what do you need to do? Tick it off. Also, just about setting your own boundaries as well for your workload. So blocking out the time to clear your inbox and go through your tasks to ensure everything has been done efficiently. Also limiting your work hours as well. So going, so like try not to work overtime unless really urgent as well. That can help. But yeah, setting them boundaries is really important for the stress side of things.
Sorry, I just had to jump in because we are
Okay.
out of time, but that was a really good conversation. I think you're hitting some very interesting points, and I'm assuming that everyone watching found it very useful for their own personal development and just to get a bit of a sense of where they can go next. And there are a few others, but any that don't get the chance to get answered, we can send it to the panel and they can respond to everyone directly. But thank you all for this conversation and for taking part in today, and obviously to Pepper Money for being the headline sponsor, but just everyone who watched today, everyone who took part in presenting for the Mortgage Solutions team, thank you very much. And you will get a feedback form at the end of this event, just for everyone watching, so we can let us know how you felt about this event, any feedback that you may have for next time, so we can continue to improve and develop this event. And also, as Ryan did say, there is the LinkedIn community hub, and you can find access to that on the resources section on this platform, but it is a LinkedIn group, so if you go there, you can find more information on it. But apart from that, thank you all for joining us for this conversation. Again, thank you to everyone for being with us today, and I hope you all have a good rest of the day. Take care.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.